After meeting with the largely Shiite central leadership in Baghdad on Monday, Kerry went to see Kurdish President Massoud Barzani in Erbil, in part to thank him.
In recent days, the security cooperation between the forces here in the Kurdish area have been really critical to helping to draw a line with respect to ISIL. And also to provide some support to the Iraqi security forces.
But Kerry wants political cooperation, too, to keep Iraq together under a more inclusive government. And President Barzani does not seem interested in that.
After these changes, we are facing a new reality and a new Iraq.
Mr. Barzani was even tougher in a CNN interview, saying Iraq's effort to establish a democracy has failed and calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. The Baghdad government is under intense pressure from Sunni militant fighters from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, who have taken control of large areas of western and central Iraq. The Prime Minister has promised to form a new government by the end of the month, and the United States hopes it will include senior Sunnis in an effort to drain support from the militants. But that is not certain, and senior Sunni tribal leaders like Sheikh Ali Hatem al-Suleiman have thrown their support behind the insurgents. Tribal support for U.S. troops and the Baghdad government 8 years ago turned the tide of the Iraq war against militants and could be decisive again, says Chris Oates of the research firm Oxford Analytica via Skype.
It's not the Syrian conflict stemming into Iraq. It's an unresolved Iraqi conflict that is now the spark came into an area that was full of tinder, full of potential for this sort of thing to happen. So I think that these Sunni leaders, they may turn against ISIS in the future, but it does depend on what happens in Baghdad.
Iraq's military faces a significant challenge countering the militants and their local supporters, just as Secretary Kerry faces a tough job on the political front. But Oates says some level of success is still possible.
If his definition of success is preventing outright Kurdish independence, to prompt Maliki towards a slightly more inclusive government, and to pave the groundwork for, at the very least, limited U.S. military intervention with some sort of political process in the background, I think that's a possible success.
Secretary Kerry has pledged intense and sustained U.S. support for Iraq, but he also says the country's future depends primarily on the ability of Iraq's leaders to work together, though even during his visit it appeared that will be difficult. Al Pessin, VOA News, London.